Okay, I'm back in my partner's sweatshirt because it's all that fits me now. And it's cozy and comfortable, but doesn't mean I'm not in like a serious business mood because today I'm talking about one of my absolute favorite things and actually what I think is kind of the what separates people who are dabbling, people who are kind of figuring it out, and seven-figure earners. Like the people who I've seen behind the scenes in their business, they do not play when it comes to things like quarter planning. So these project plans and having a plan for the whole year, but especially on a quarter to quarter basis, is kind of a make or break thing that I think everybody should get in the habit of doing as soon as you start your business, and you'll kind of get better at it and have more follow through with it the more you do it and the more established your business becomes, the more systems you have in place. But that's not an excuse to not start ASAP. And so I want to break down how I plan for every single quarter. I actually use a Trello board that I share with my clients in MPQ. And so some of you might already have this, and maybe you're just not using it or what. I'm calling you out right now. But if you don't have the Trello board, that's fine. You can make your own, or you can do this on a piece of paper. It doesn't really matter. And let me do the quick breakdown. It seems really simple, and it is. And that's the reason that I'm like, everybody needs to be doing this. So here's all you want to do. So it's the beginning of the quarter. We just, entered April. And you want to start out by saying, what is my number one quarter goal? And yes, I want you to just have one big goal. And I know this part is really hard, and maybe you have like multiple projects going on, blah, blah, blah. None of that matters. You just want to have one main focus for the quarter. Now, you can get a little bit lenient here. Like sometimes I'll put two main things that I need to do. Like I want to set up this automation and launch this course. I think if you are like rock and rolling, you have a team and like things are going really, pretty smoothly for you, you can have two. I'll let it slide. But like most often you want to stick to one. Okay, so you've got one big quarter goal, right? Let me just, okay. So you've got this big quarter goal. You're going to write that down. It should just say one thing in that section. Then what you want to do is you want to write the 3 months that are in the quarter, and you want to write one goal for each one of those months that should, if you add up those 3 months, equal you hitting that quarter goal. So big overarching, this is all you're going to focus on for the entire month. Keep in mind, you still have to run your business. You still have to see your clients. You still have to do the day-to-day. You still have to do your content workflow. You still have to, do all of those things. But this is like your big main overarching focus for the month. Should only say one thing in here. I'll let it slide if there's two that you think you can get done. Okay, then what you want to do is you want to now take each month and break it up into 4 sections. So I do this in the Trello board, and I really do think it's nice to have some project management system, whether it's Trello or ClickUp or Asana, whatever you like to use, just use that. Or I know a lot of people are really loving Notion right now. Do what you got to do. But I just recommend like getting out of the notebook and kind of into some sort of planner that can pop into your calendar or into your like checklist day to day. So now what you want to do is you want to take each month. So let's say it's April, May, and June, right? Now you want to break April into 4 weeks. And now you want to create your to-do list for each week. Now here's where you can get a little bit more granular. Like you don't need to just have one goal for the whole week. This is where it should literally say, okay, Monday, I want to, let's say one of your goals for April is to relaunch your website. So that's a huge thing, but let's say you're not making too many changes and you think you can get it done in a month. I wanted to say week 1, I need to work on the copy for the homepage. On Wednesday, on Monday, I'm going to write the copy. On Tuesday, I'm going to edit the copy. On Wednesday, I'm going to write my About Me page. And on Thursday, I'm going to edit the copy. And on Friday, I'm going to wrap up any loose ends with my homepage and my About Me page. Now we get into week 2 of month 1. Now I want your whole list of everything that you want to get done. So basically what you're doing is you're breaking down your one big quarter goal into 3 monthly goals, and then each month goal into 4 weekly to-do lists. So that way, when it comes time for you to actually sit down at your computer, all you have to do is open up the checklist for that week, and you can slowly start working through it. Or maybe like, on Sunday before the week starts, you can take that checklist and put it all into your calendar, time block, see how long you need for everything, and readjust your schedule so that you're making sure. If I just focus on the things that I need to get done today or the things I need to get done this week, then I know that my month goal is going to be accomplished. And I know if this month all I focus on is hitting that big month goal, then I know that my quarter goal is going to be accomplished. And I think that's really important, especially if you're doing something like, okay, I want to launch this quarter and I want to make 10K. That's a really great goal. But if you don't have that broken down into how many leads you need, when you're launching, how many people you need to get on the phone with, who your affiliates are going to be, what type of launch content you're putting out, where you want your funnel to be converting, what assets you need, when you need to be building the course, what day you're doing your webinar, when you're actually designing that webinar, when you're practicing, when you're auditing your sales page, like all of that stuff needs to happen. And that can be really overwhelming. But if you just have one goal, make 10K from this launch, and you slowly start breaking that down into your, project plans for the quarter, it starts to become so much more doable, so much more realistic. And you can also start to get an idea of what processes you're repeating, where you can bring in like support with a team member, or where you need to hire out, and all of that stuff. So that's it. That's how you, in my opinion, you plan for an epic quarter. Doesn't have to be more complicated than that. It's a very simple process, but in this case, it really is all about setting yourself up for a really realistic plan. And then truly, it's about the follow through. It's about being consistent and actually sticking to those things that are on that to-do list. And that's why it's really important to make sure that the person who's making the to-do list is a visionary, but also is really like, it's like a good boss, right? I always say, like, you have to be a good boss to yourself, because when you're showing up and making these epic to-do lists, when the employee version of you gets to her desk and sees that to-do list that you created and it's completely unrealistic, it's kind of rude, because you're like, don't you know all the other things that I have to do? And clients need me, and I need to check in on this. And don't you remember I have to film videos this week? And that's where you can kind of like start self-sabotaging, because the entrepreneur version of you who created this plan has totally screwed over the, employee version of you who has to show up, and makes it unrealistic to actually accomplish the goal. So be a good boss, create a to-do list that's like realistic for yourself and is doable, but then show up and be a really good employee and actually follow through on everything that you set up. Because if I just follow this plan, I know I'm going to hit that big goal that the, entrepreneur version of me set. And the CEO version of me, has that visionary goal for us of where we want to be this quarter, this year, and then the next 5 years, right? Okay, I've gone off on a couple tangents, but I hope you found that super helpful. I'll be back next week, hopefully in a different sweater, and I'll talk to you guys soon.